Yes, indeed. Welcome to Wrestling Uncensored. Tonight, we just saw Smackdown. We'll talk about that. We're watching AEW Rampage. Ishii and Adam Cole in action. We've been off for a couple of weeks. We're ready to go. There's wrestling talk to be had. Let's get Johnny in here. Let's do this. Why mess around? Why wait? Let's go, John. How are you, man? and new NCW Tag Team Champion, Big John. Congratulations. Or should I say somebody that you know? Maybe a friend of yours,
Yeah, the
not
Latino
you.
Connection Incorporated. Congratulations to them. Great
Yeah.
guys. I know them very well. Congratulations to them winning their first ever NCW Tag Team titles last Saturday. It's quite a match. Great match.
Yeah, the pictures look great, look like a great match. And the Latino Connection that you may or may not be part of are the new NCW Tag Team Champions, so we're very excited about that. I'm very excited about that. Amazing. Fantastic.
Well, we've both been busy, right? I've been busy being involved in wrestling again. You've been busy, having another child. So,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Congratulations for both of us, John. You're winning championships, and I had a daughter, and she's 2 weeks old today. So now I have a daughter and a son. That seems about enough. I think we're good now. We're good.
You got your Shane and Stephanie. Yeah, it works out.
Exactly. In the same order as Vince did it too. Boy, then girl. Oh, I'm a genetic jackhammer, John. Oh, the grapefruits are powerful.
Well, you never know. If there's more, you never know. You always got to say that in wrestling.
You think Vince has other kids other than Shane and Stephanie? It's possible.
Oh, I'm talking about you, actually. Like, you never know. You could have more, I'm saying.
I'm thinking about Vince. You think Vince maybe has some kids that we don't know about? I could see that.
I mean, Vinny, he seems like that kind of guy, but
yeah,
who knows?
Well, we've been off for a couple of weeks because, like we said, my daughter was born a couple weeks ago, and we are back. And I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be talking pro wrestling with you here on a Friday night. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and become a member as well. Go to join.ringsidereport.net if you want. Always appreciate it. And if you have any questions for us tonight on the show, anything specific you want us to get to, we're not going to be able to get to everything that we missed over the past couple of weeks. Hit us up in the chat. Hit us up on Super Chat. If you have something urgent you want us to talk about, we will talk about it here for you on the show. John, I'll put it to you. Is there anything you want to talk about that we haven't? I mean, there's been so much. There's been Dynamite. There's been Raw. There's been Smackdown. I haven't had time to actually do shows, but I have had the chance to watch all the wrestling. So I'm aware of what's going on. Anything strike you as interesting that's happened in wrestling over the past couple weeks?
Well, the main thing is I think we'll just start with tonight, I think, and then work our way back. I think that's the best way to do it.
All right, you got a plan. Look at you, organized. What? Okay.
It's the most fresh thing in our minds, no?
Yeah. I mean, I'm watching Ishii and Adam Cole. You like Ishii, the Stone Pitbull? Are you a fan of his work?
I mean, this match is all right, but that's all it is. Like, I think you put over Ishii as like he's one of the greats, but I haven't seen anything that's been like, wow.
He's like a solid mid-carder. He's very good in New Japan. I wouldn't put him at a level of an Okada or a Tanahashi or a Naito. He's not like tippy-top level, but he's pretty awesome. I like Suzuki better. They both wrestle a similar style. I like Suzuki the way he does it a little better. But I like Ishii. I think he's good. This match has been all right.
Yeah, this match has just been, it's been okay. I mean, nothing spectacular. I mean, obviously, I think Cole had a better match with Hangman than this, but different circumstances with that.
Yeah, that match was pretty awesome. That Texas Death Match, that was fantastic. The finish of that was crazy. The Deadeye, off the apron, through the table. Good God almighty. What a move.
Well, I found that looked like that killed Page more than it did Adam Cole, but okay.
I mean, it looked devastating for everybody. That's a good way to end
The
a
way
match.
his knees
Just
went
a
down, that
huge
looked rough.
crash.
And his arm looked like arm got crushed in the table. Like,
Yeah,
that looked rough for Page.
it was a pretty good match. I liked it. Adam Cole just beat Ishii with help from Jay White. Jay White did something and attacked Rocky Romero, which distracted Ishii and the referee, and I think Adam Cole hit a low blow there. So they're doing a Bullet Club Chaos feud, which I'm not sure if anybody watching AEW is that aware of. I'm sure some people are, but like it's the kind of thing I have to explain to you, John, right? Like Bullet Club and Chaos, and you know what I mean?
You're going to have to, yeah.
Right? So Chaos is this gigantic group in New Japan, and Bullet Club is also a group there. So they're,
Right.
Bullet Club is usually heel, and Chaos is usually a babyface group. And Ishii and Rocky Romero are in Chaos, and Jay White and I guess Adam Cole by association is in Bullet Club. I mean, he used to be, and then he went to WWE, but I guess he still is in a way. So that's what they're doing there.
Well, Adam Cole now, he advances in the Owen Hart tournament.
Which, who cares? This tournament is killing my interest in AEW. It's like, what do you win? You got to win something for a tournament. It's like King of the Ring. What do you win? Well, you get to be King of the Ring. You get a crown. I mean, it's stupid, but at least you know what it is. The Owen Hart thing. What do you get? Do you get a crown? He was the King of Hearts. What do you get when you win the Owen Hart tournament? Have they shown a trophy? Something. You get a title shot? You get a belt? Do you get a trophy? Do you get to be called a nugget? I mean, I don't understand. You get new gear with like danger written all over it. What do you get?
Well, they'll announce, I'm sure, what you're going to get in the end. Like, the tournament, again, hasn't officially started. This is only the qualifying rounds for the tournament, so wouldn't worry about it. Like, to me, as long as they promote Owen Hart, which should happen more in wrestling, I'm all for it.
But it's just like they're just saying his name, It's like, what is this? It's the Owen Hart tournament. What do you get if you win? Owen Hart? I don't understand what you get. Brett calls you. You get Brett's phone number. You can call Brett whenever you want. I mean, that's pretty good. I'd take that. Right? Something. Give me something. And the problem is, like, okay, Owen Hart, we all love Owen Hart, John, and that's fine. But, like, you're watching all these matches, and it's not even matches that are in the tournament. It's matches to qualify to be in the tournament. And we don't even know how many people are in each tournament. So it's like an infinite amount of qualifying matches for an infinite amount of spots in a tournament that doesn't seem to have a start or end date with no real prize at the end. And it's in the men's and women's divisions. Fuck off. I'm not doing that. What is that? That's bullshit. What?
We have an end game, though.
What
they
is
said
it?
the finals for the men and women's is going to be at the pay-per-view.
So when does the tournament actually start? Why is everything a qualifying match?
Well, I think they're going to probably start it on his birthday, which I think is, I want to say May 8th, May 11th, if I'm not mistaken. So probably the first or second week of May.
I don't know.
And then expect many matches very quickly.
Yeah. I don't care.
I don't expect this to be an extremely long tournament.
But it feels like every AEW show is full of these Owen Hart Cup qualifying matches, and it's like you're qualifying for a tournament that really means nothing in the end. And throwing Owen's name on this thing that's just kind of pointless. It's like when WWE does one of those Dusty Rhodes tournaments. It's like, well, you get a trophy. It's not like you get extra push. You know, you get a title shot for the Dusty thing?
You do, yeah.
Shows how much I care about that. I think long, drawn-out tournaments in wrestling are a bad idea, generally.
I feel with NXT, you're definitely not wrong with NXT. I think with this, it's a little different because it's the first time they've ever done this before. So I have no problem with it. Having Owen Hart again said over and over again, I'm more than okay with that. But I agree. I mean, they have to give some sort of reward for winning this. And I expect they will name it. They just haven't figured it out yet.
I just want some basic info. When does the tournament start? How many people are in the tournament? What do you get if you win? That should be established before we get these qualifying matches. And it's not, so I don't care. I don't care about any of the qualifying matches because I don't really know what they're qualifying for. You know?
Well, right now it's a pay-per-view match, right?
Possibly. I suppose. Anyways, that AEW stuff is a little weird. Sammy Guevara's gone full heel. He's the new TNT champion. I like that. I think that makes a lot of sense. Him and Tate Conti doing that thing. But is Dan Lambert a babyface now? How does that work? That's hard to do.
I think it's just mainly because of circumstance. Like, well, he has to be the face in this situation because Sammy's going to be the heel. And they're going to continue this feud for a little bit. It's not just the rematch with Sky on Dynamite next Wednesday. They also have the mixed tag. So this continues. So they kind of had to put them faces for now. But I expect them to go back to being heels again.
And there's a thing with Scorpio. Scorpio might leave that group because he's like maybe rejoining Frankie Kazarian, right? They had an interaction. He's like, I want to wrestle.
Maybe.
Because Frankie's like, I want to wrestle Sammy for the TNT title. And Scorpio's like, let me do it first, and then I'll give you a title shot.
Right. I think that's their way to turn it around again, where it's like you think Scorpio's going to be going back with Kazarian, but then he turns on Kazarian. I can see that's the way they switch it, because they're going to need to put him back to being heels possibly, and that's the way to do it.
I guess. I don't know. CM Punk and Hangman look like they're going to wrestle at the pay-per-view, right? They like looked at each other on Dynamite. You see that?
Right, yeah. I saw that after his match with Dustin. That was a really good wrestling match.
Yeah.
I thought, like, in terms of, like, I haven't watched Cody against Kevin yet, but I thought in terms of wrestling, that was the best wrestling that I've saw this week.
Cody and Kevin was pretty good. Cody and Kevin was pretty good. But the finish was really bad.
Well, it's hard to get through Raw. Raw's an adventure to get through, and it takes almost days to get through sometimes, so.
Yeah.
It's tough. But I'll get there soon.
Yeah, Dustin and Punk was all right. It's just, you know what's going to happen. Like, Dustin Rhodes, there's no chance, you know? And you're just kind of doing a long, drawn-out wrestling match to show that you can wrestle. And it's all well and good, but it doesn't really keep my attention when it's like, okay, well, there's no chance here. Like, it's ridiculous. If Dustin would have won, people would have been upset. They would have punched their TV. You know? So that's not happening. So that's my problem with that match. It was just like, I get it, and they're both good, and it's fine, but it's hard to keep my attention when the ending is a foregone conclusion. It's, like, so obvious. That's why I don't watch superhero movies, because I know, like, well, Batman's not going to die in the end. Eventually he's going to beat the guy, and then next, you know? I don't watch those movies, because the superhero always wins. So I don't like these matches where it's like, okay, well, we know what's going to happen, and the ride might be kind of fun, and there may be some special effects and some nice, you know, wrist locks and shit, but come on. Sorry.
like matches are kind of easy to predict sometimes, but to me, like that just had a great atmosphere to it, and just great in-ring work. Which in AEW you see a lot of stuff outside the ring. Like the main event to me was just a brawl, which was fine, but like to have good in-ring work, I don't think it got any better than the opening match. And it's like maybe you know who's gonna win, but it didn't take away from what they told in that ring.
Yeah, it was fine. Like I didn't hate it, but it wasn't like I wasn't blown away by it. The main event either I wasn't blown away by. What was it, Darby and Andrade in the casket match? It was okay.
Well, it was what you expected, but I liked Sting showing up again. I liked Sting going for big dive. It seems to be the thing with Sting now. Let's have Sting jump off something really big all the time now.
Mm-hmm.
That's his spot.
I mean,
and just Darby, just being Darby, killing himself all the time. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, no, it was fine, and they did the thing, and it's what they do, and it's it's just when Sting, so Darby is in the match, and he's like getting beat up by like 4 guys, right? He's getting beat up by all of Andrade's goons, right?
Yeah, maybe 3, but yeah.
Whatever. It's like Private Party and Butcher and Blade and I don't know who's there, but they're there, right? It's like 3 or 4 guys and Andrade beating up Darby. While this is happening, Sting is in the crowd wearing a fake Sting mask, holding a sign saying, "I'm here for Darby." Right?
Yep.
Why not give up the ruse there, Steve, and just jump in the ring and help your friend, rather than wait in the crowd for them to hopefully come to you so that you could do your spot, take off your mask, and reveal yourself not to be a pretend fan pretending to be Sting, but the real Sting. And here I come attacking all you guys that are beating up my friend, like 5 minutes after he got the complete shit kicked out of him in a 4-on-1 attack. It's stuff like that where I'm like, well, what if they had gone to the other side of the arena, Sting? What would you have done then? You're just sitting there all night like, oh, I hope they come this way. I've got a big surprise. Like, it's cool and it's good for TV, and I know it's fake and all, but sometimes it's so fake that you're like, well, shouldn't he have, helped him before?
Well, it's not like he was just sitting there. He was in the standing section. So I think, in terms of the way the story was being played, he would have walked there anyways with the sign. The whole thing was to play the ruse, which he's done many times in the past, where he's done the whole, wear a Sting mask and it's Sting. Like, you thought it was fake Sting, but it's actually Sting.
Yeah.
This is just playing up to history right here. That's what they were doing there.
Yeah, but doesn't he see Darby getting beat up for a while? Shouldn't he stop that at some point? Instead of waiting till they come.
It wasn't 5 minutes. It was maybe a minute or 2.
I don't know. It's John. I would hope.
And the whole thing is about the.
Right? I'd hope you wouldn't just wait in the crowd. I hope that you would come and save me eventually. It's like 4 guys are beating up. You're standing 20 feet away. You're like, well, when they come here, I'm going to help them. It's ridiculous.
Like, I get why you'd be mad, but it's the whole idea of the attack of surprise, like the fact that you're not seeing it coming. That was the whole idea of that, right?
I don't know.
Just for a second there.
Oh, okay. I think we might be having some issues here. I think
glitches.
We're good. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're back at it. I just think, if I saw you 20 feet away, John, and I was hiding, and you were getting beat up by 4 guys, I'd be like, well, I'm going to go and help them right away. I'm not going to wait until they come near me. I would come save you. In a real situation, if your friend is getting beat up by several men, you would go and save them. You wouldn't just kind of stand and wait. But whatever, it's wrestling, so who cares, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I think the most interesting thing that's happened in the past 2 weeks in wrestling is the announcement of the AEW New Japan Forbidden Door pay-per-view show on June 26th in Chicago. I mean, that's pretty cool.
I mean, I'd be interested if there was some matches or some idea of what we're gonna see, but no. And like, I didn't think the announcement was really that great, to be honest. Like, it just they had Tony Khan come out, the New Japan Pro Wrestling president, and like they didn't say anything. It was interrupted by Adam Cole and the Bullet Club leader. Like,
Jay White.
it was nothing.
Yeah.
Jay White, like, it wasn't a great way to introduce it, really. And if anything, it kind of felt confusing. It's like, okay, something's happening. What's happening?
Well, it's a show.
Yeah, a show, okay, and it's going to be AEW with New Japan. Is it AEW versus New Japan, or is it just like talent on New Japan? Like, it wasn't clearly stated.
Yeah, it's not clear what it's going to be. But you got to figure they're going to do some pretty cool matches. And I'm hoping for some big New Japan stars versus some big AEW stars. I saw Kenta wanted to do Go to Sleep versus Go to Sleep. Of course, Kenta invented that move. Him versus CM Punk would be a dream match.
Right.
You know? Tanahashi versus anybody, really. Tanahashi versus Bryan Danielson, or Tanahashi versus Sting or something. Be crazy. Okada versus Danielson. Okada versus Punk. Okada versus Hangman. I mean, there's some big matches you could do. Naito. Big matches. So I'm hoping we see some of them. I don't know what to expect from that show, but I have higher hopes than you do. You do, I guess. I don't know. I mean, because the possibilities are there, right? I mean, there could be some crazy matches, but I get what you're saying. Like, if it's just some New Japan matches and some AEW matches and maybe a couple AEW versus New Japan, it's not that exciting. But if it's straight up AEW versus New Japan, I mean, that's kind of cool. If they could pull that off.
Well, I think the problem is, like, you have dream matches, and maybe you'll get them, but maybe you won't get them. You know, maybe you get matches and you'll be like, oh, I'd rather not that match. It would have been better another way around, kind of thing, you know? So that's the problem. Unless you have something like concrete, they need a really solid main event, or two possibly, to really sell this show. I mean, you got to have Punk in a big match. You're going to have like your AEW World Champion, if it's Punk at that time, in a big match. You know, as you said, Bryan Danielson needs to be in a big match. More than likely, Moxley will be in something. Like, unless you get those things delivered, I don't know how good this is going to be.
Well, it's still a while away, and I don't think they're going to start announcing matches until after Double or Nothing. I think they're going to get Double or Nothing done, and then, I mean, maybe they'll announce a match or two before, but they got May 29th Double or Nothing, and then that June 26th Forbidden Door show. So we still have quite a bit of time.
Well, just in terms of them selling out, I wouldn't think they'd have a problem. Like, I think besides like Jacksonville, I think Chicago is pretty much like their second home, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think AEW has probably have no problem selling out. So they don't really have to worry about announcing matches to help sell that, because AEW New Japan sells itself in that market. But in terms of the pay-per-view buys, yeah, some big matches are going to really help, I think, because especially people that aren't really familiar with New Japan, you really got to sell us some matches that are going to intrigue us. Like, you're going to need to have Okada in something big, and they're going to need to introduce these guys as well. Like, not everyone's familiar with Okada.
Yeah, like, even if you do have Okada in something big, if you don't know who Okada is, what do you care?
I mean, he was in TNA for a little bit. That was years ago.
Yeah, but come on. You know, he wasn't anything then. I mean, you may have heard of him, but if you've never seen him, if you're not familiar, if you don't watch New Japan, if you don't know Kazuchika Okada, the Rainmaker, you might not care. I care. I think he's great. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world today, if not the best. He's so damn good. But, you know, if you don't know that and you don't watch him, and AEW doesn't do a good job of introducing him to their audience, I don't know how this is going to do. It's a small audience, New Japan, in North America. Like, the people that are familiar with it and watch it, like, it's not a ton of people. So, yeah, hardcore fans are going to be into it, but you're not bringing in a bunch more people because you're doing this. You're just serving the appetite of the most hardcore of the hardcore fans, which I'm okay with because that's me, but does that work? I don't know.
Well, I think what's also going to hurt too is if they don't have Kenny Omega back by then, because he was kind of that bridge in a sense for like North Americans to Japanese wrestling, and not to have him on the show wrestling some sort of match, that's a huge hole.
And I think you need Jericho too in a big match.
Well, that I think goes without saying. Like, all your top guys for AEW have to be in matches. Like, if anything, you're going to see a bunch of guys that you think would have matches probably won't have matches. Like, you think a guy, we just saw Lance Archer wrestle. Like, he's got history in New Japan, but he probably won't have a match.
Yeah, I don't know. He's kind of there and not there in AEW, right? Sometimes he's prominent and sometimes he's just kind of AEW dark.
But New Japan, he was kind of a big deal.
Not really.
Was he champion there?
World champion? Archer?
Not world champion, but I think
no.
He was like U.S. champion.
Tag team champion? Maybe right? U.S. champion. Maybe. But I don't know. Even tag team champion, I'm not sure. Him and Davey Boy. Davey Boy Jr., obviously. Eddie Kingston's wrestling Daniel Garcia right now in AEW on Rampage. I tell you, that Bryan Danielson group, you know, it just drops off. Like, my interest level in that whole thing drops off as you add members. You know? You present a group to me, you go, we got Bryan Danielson. I'm like, yeah. And then he's managed by William Regal. Cool. And they've got Jon Moxley with them. Okay. And Wheeler Yuta. What? And then I'm like, huh? What? And they come out, and it's like other guys, and Brian's there, but, you know. I'm disappointed in that whole thing. You would think that I would like it, but I really don't. Wheeler Yuta is so generic and bland and skinny and just... I'm struggling to like him. I know I should like him because he hangs out with the best wrestler in the world, Bryan Danielson, so I'm supposed to like him. But I don't like him. There's nothing I like about him. He's kind of like okay as a wrestler, but not like amazing. He's a lot like Daniel Garcia. Kind of like, yeah, okay. There's no it factor. There's no charisma. There's no mass to them either. They're very skinny. They look like boys among men. Very bland, very generic. Wheeler Yuta looks like the child of Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley. Like, he looks like their son or their little brother. Doesn't look like he fits into that group. I don't like it.
I kind of completely agree with you in a sense where this, to me, like for Dynamite, when I saw them in that 6-man tag, I was like, wow, how far has Bryan Danielson dropped since the beginning of this year? Like, we saw him like, oh, he's going to be world champion. Like, you know, once he comes back to wrestle Hangman again, he's going to win the title. Now it's like, good luck winning the tag titles at this point. Like, I mean, that's going to be like shooting for the stars right now, because like not even he is like the focus of that group. It's they're trying to push Wheeler really as the main part of that group, which is kind of crazy. Like, I understand they're trying to build new stars, but
Yeah.
you know,
Ugh, I know.
Danielson and Moxley, I mean, those guys are your mega stars.
Yeah.
They're the ones that have to be like main eventing, not like, helping to build new stars at this point.
They're using those guys. Fuck. It's enraging, really. It makes me want to like attack Tony Khan. Like, I'm so mad about this. Like, why? Like, they're using legit stars to prop up and build this skinny nerd who has no charisma that no one cares about. Fuck. It's really frustrating.
I'll give Wheeler one thing. I'll give Wheeler one thing. Like, he did, like, get better gear, because that was a huge thing that I didn't like, because that he wore crummy like tights and like tennis shoes. Now he wears like good tights and like actual wrestling boots. So I mean, it's a small thing, but it helps a lot. He looks a little bit more professional now.
I don't know what's happening in AEW, but all these guys they're pushing look like children to me. I think I'm just getting old.
Well, they're trying to build their own guys. That's it.
Yeah, but
you saw Hook.
Yeah.
Made his debut in Dynamite.
Yeah. Whatever the hell that was. I don't know. I don't believe it. I don't believe any of it. And then what's his big feud? Danhausen? What the what? What is this goofy bullshit? Like, my hope in AEW and my belief in Tony Khan is just dwindling by the day. It's just like, ever since Cody left. It's and I said it too. I was like, why is he leaving? Does he know something we don't? Is this a sinking ship? Ever since he left, I'm starting to wonder, maybe it is. Because every move they make, you're like, yeah, okay, but is this working? Is this working? They bought Ring of Honor. They're trying to get them a TV deal. Tony Khan's going to book that too? Like, what? Why? Nothing makes sense in that company. People are there, and then they're not there. People get pushed up and down, and you're not sure what the hell's going on. They had the goddamn Jungle Boy. They had the Jungle Boys beat the fucking Undisputed Era guys clean for the belts.
Yeah.
I mean, get those belts on FTR as soon as possible. Those Jungle Boys. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, they're trying to build their own stars. They want to show that they can make new stars besides the ones that are already established. So I get that, but I can also understand your frustration, where it's like, it's hard to get into all these new people. They aren't over yet. So to have them go over people that are already over, it's hard to believe in that stuff. Like, I get it, but I also see what they're doing, trying to build their own kind of stars that they're going to have for years to come.
But they built their own stars, though. They've already done that. They got MJF. They've got Sammy Guevara. They've got Darby Allin. Like, do more with Darby, if anything.
Main evented. I think he's doing okay.
Yeah, but he could be closer to the world title picture. He could be in bigger matches, feuding with bigger name guys. Like, Andrade is okay, but I don't know. They could be doing more with the guys they've already built rather than try to build new guys. Like, you remember when they're trying to build Dante Martin? How did that work out?
Well, watch it. It's got to come back again because his brother got injured again, apparently. And going to be out again for a long period of time. So I think Dante might just be a singles guy from now on.
It's frustrating because you have guys that are in the prime of their careers that are legit stars, and you're not using them to their full potential. They've got these guys, and they're not using them the way they should. They're not giving them, like, more. Give them the ball. Christian's just a guy in the background. Like, I understand he's a little past his prime, but he's still somebody that is worth watching more than Wheeler Utah or Daniel Garcia or any number of these guys. And I understand you got to push these guys a bit, but like a great man once said, enough is enough, and it's time for a change.
Well, I think things will change once they have Ring of Honor figured out. Because Wheeler's like the ROH pure champion, right? So, like, I wouldn't think we'd see him on AEW that much if he's going to be the ROH pure champion.
Yeah, he could go there. Like, you got good guys on AEW. You got Samoan Joe now. Like, goddamn, pal. You got some talent. I just realized I got two guys named Wheeler on this show. They've got Wheeler,
I think it's fair to say,
Utah, and they got Cash Wheeler. Two Wheelers.
What?
Huh?
Okay. Not both the same first name. Like, it's not the same first, at least.
No. But still, two guys named Wheeler. It's weird. Whatever. Are you with me, John? It feels like you're freezing out or something. What's happening?
On Smackdown, you got two guys named Drew.
Oh, this is weird.
It feels like it's like hiccuping. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, I think you're on.
I can hear you though.
Yeah, you can hear me, but I think you're hearing me on a delay. It's weird. See, there it is. It's taking a long time for John to respond to me.
It feels like it's slow.
Oh, that's a real big delay. Well, this is odd.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do something about that, or maybe it'll fix itself, or maybe John's gonna go away and come back.
Refreshing.
There you go. John's gonna go away and come back. John will be right back. Maybe John is right back. John, are you right back?
I think so.
Oh, okay. And you could hear me all good? We're all good now. Sometimes you just need a refresh, right?
Well, what happened to Fred last night? A lot. So.
Oh, yeah. Fred was having troubles last night. That was a different situation. Jade Cargill against Marina Shafir is up next. Here comes Jade to make her 30th pro victory thing happen now.
30th match, too, I guess, right?
I guess so. She's going to beat Marina. They've done a good job in building up Marina for this match, giving her a couple weeks of, like, here's Marina, give her some matches, build her up.
Did you like that match? Like, against Sky Blue?
No.
Yeah, I didn't like that match.
But they've made her into somebody that seems, like, intimidating a little bit, you know? They've made her into a challenger for Jade. I mean, she was nobody in AEW 3-4 weeks ago, and then they've done something with her, you know? They've made her into something for this match.
It's tough because there's not a lot of great challengers for Jade. Like, unless Britt's going to challenge for the TBS title, like, I can't see too many people that could beat her.
Well, Britt cut that promo where she mentioned Jade, right? So I think she might be trying to win that Owen Hart tournament and then facing Jade after that. Watch out, Britt. Don't go after Jade. She's going to beat you. Jade is the best.
Well, I don't know with that one, though. That one's kind of tough because Britt, as she kind of showed on Dynamite, I think she's the only one who got a decent promo in the women's division. So
what about Jade?
That goes a long way in terms of like getting a push. Well, I didn't hear what Jade said. I got on mute Rampage, so I didn't hear this promo. But Jade's like, at least with Jade, they keep it short and to the point. I feel that's the best way to use her and her matches. But I think even you'd admit, I think Britt by far is better in terms of promos.
Yeah, well, Britt's one of the best promos in all of AEW. She's really good. I think we're still having...
It's good to have Jade.
We're still having these issues, I think. God damn, pal. We're having internet issues, John.
There's still a little bit of hiccups.
Yeah. Are you seeing that? It's like a delay. Are you with me?
I can hear you fine. I think it's
okay.
just the screen's like hiccuping, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of goes back and forth, I think. It's weird. What happened on Smackdown tonight? Anything good?
I thought Riddle against Jey Uso was a pretty good match.
Yeah. Riddle beat Jey Uso with pinfall after reversing a splash into a roll-up. It was pretty good. It wasn't exceptional.
I didn't mind Butch against Xavier Woods. Unfortunately, both those matches had the same exact finish, so that was kind of a downer that they can't think of anything original or different.
Well, Woods,
but I mean, it didn't take away from good matches.
It's different with Woods though. Didn't he have like he's got like a move that he used. It was like a DDT into a roll-up. It wasn't just a roll-up.
Well, because he usually does that jump in the ring, do a DDT, but then he switched it. He went from instead of doing DDT, he just did the roll-up instead. He just changed up like the way he would do it.
But they called it the backwoods. That was his finisher.
Yeah.
Backwoods.
Well, when he does a small package now, it's just called the backwoods. Because he's used it so many times to win matches.
Do you know what that's a reference to?
No.
I don't think Vince does either. So, backwoods are a kind of cigar that people break up and take the tobacco out of and then use to roll blunts with. Backwoods.
Okay.
It's a brand of tobacco that's used to roll blunts. And Pat McAfee got the reference. He was making all sorts of weed jokes with that backwoods thing. I don't think Michael Cole was getting the jokes. I think half the WWE people that are working there maybe didn't get the joke. Because I'd be surprised if they would allow Xavier Woods to call one of his moves backwoods if they knew what it was all about.
I don't know. They seem more lenient, WWE. I mean, I don't know if you saw RK Bro. They have a T-shirt that says like RK Bro 420.
Yes, I did see that. For 420, they released a special weed-themed shirt. RK Bro does have like a weed gimmick. I guess maybe it's fine now.
It seems like it. They're more lenient towards it, and not a big deal. It seems.
I mean, Stone Cold Steve Austin, does beer bashes. Why can't you have a backwoods move? Why can't you talk about weed in wrestling? It's different now, It's different than what it used to be, John. Weed is fully accepted. I mean, it's been legal in Canada for so long.
Right. I was just seeing the baddie section was beating up on Marina, but I guess the ref didn't see it. It's weird camera angles that they were showing. I thought the referee was clearly seeing it, but I guess wasn't seeing it before.
Mm-hmm.
Not much is happening in this match.
No, whatever. It's not about what happens in the match. It doesn't really matter. But, yeah,
right,
I mean, I guess, yeah, whatever. It's a Jade Cargill, Marina Shafir main event on Rampage. I mean, we're not, we're not expecting a 10-star classic here. Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey cut a promo in the ring to do a contract signing to start the show tonight. Adam Pearce is like, why don't we have a contract? And then Drew Gulak shows up, and he's like his new assistant or something. Charlotte says she beat Ronda at Mania, and then Ronda's like, yeah, well, you tapped out, and you're going to quit at Backlash, because at Backlash, they have an I Quit match. And Charlotte signs a contract, then she flips over the table to reveal a kendo stick, and she beats Ronda with it, but then Ronda takes the stick and beats Charlotte with it, and then Drew Gulak stops Ronda and takes the stick away from her, which allows Charlotte to escape, and then Ronda beats up on Drew Gulak, just like Charlotte did last week, and puts Gulak in the armbar before signing the contract. I thought Drew Gulak wrestled on AEW Dark. What the hell's he still doing here?
When did Gulak go to AEW? Like, I don't remember
know.
that ever happening.
Didn't he get released, him and Tony Nese, and they went to AEW Dark?
No, well, Gulak got released, but then he got re-signed, if you remember correctly.
I don't remember correctly, obviously. I thought he was on AEW Dark.
No, he got re-signed.
Or
and
Impact Wrestling or something. I was like, when I saw Gulak on Smackdown last week as Adam Pearce's new buddy, I was like, I thought he was not in the company anymore. I haven't seen him chasing the 24/7 title around, so I figured he was gone. You know? He's not having sex with Tamina or whatever, so not interested. That was the best thing in wrestling all week, by the way, that segment on Raw. The 24/7 title thing with Ronald Truth and everything. That was good. Oh, my God, that was good. Best thing on Raw. By far.
I haven't gotten to that part yet. I'm stuck on the Arcade Bro against Street Profits match.
Skip it. Just go to the R-Truth thing. It was the best. Reginald and Truth and Dana Brooke. Man, they're great. What? That's top talents. Top talents. Speaking of top talents, want to give a shout-out to the members. Haven't shouted you guys out yet. Ryan Katz. Oh, he's not a member, but I'll give him a shout-out anyways. Anthony McDonough is a member. Good morning, Anthony, out in London. Doug Hepburn out in Kingston, Ontario. Harold Schneider. He says he read that Brett has signed with WWE, maybe a Legends deal or something to stop him from going to AEW. I don't know. So shout out to all the members. If you are joining us here and you are a member, thank you. Join.ringsidereport.net. Even AJ's watching. AJ's not a member, but he's a guy that I know. So we all know AJ, right? Even Johnny knows AJ.
Co-host on the other show on yesterday.
Oh, yeah. He was on the show yesterday, the Ringside Report MMA show that we do every Thursday at 8 p.m. And we gave you picks for the UFC this weekend. Got some good picks for you, baby. Yeah. What'd you think of the Charlotte Ronda promo thing?
Like, I get they're introducing Gulak. They're trying to add some new element to Adam Pearce. Because I guess, I don't know about you, I guess Sonya's getting pushed out of that role, and they're maybe going to give it to Gulak, I guess, instead. So I guess this is their way to introduce him. He's going to be the guy that takes the beating, I guess, from all the wrestlers now. He took the beating from Charlotte last week. Now he takes the beating from Ronda this week. Like, it added something to a contract signing that we see every couple of weeks. We see a contract signing, so it gave him something to do for this to make it somewhat different. Because we got the whole push the table and then get the revenge on Charlotte, but not completely, because Gulak's going to take the beating instead. It added something. It wasn't horrible to watch, as most contract signings are, but I'm not a huge fan of Gulak just being the guy who gets beat down all the time. Like, that's going to get old pretty fast.
Yeah, and like if he is an authority member, shouldn't they be suspended or fined or something? Guess not.
Well, he's only an intern right now. He's not like official.
So you can abuse interns. That's fine. Do whatever you want.
Oh yeah, interns. Yeah, they're volunteers. You can beat them up.
Okay, that's all right. Xavier Woods beat Butch with the backwoods, and then Butch attacked a security guard and ran away like a rabid dog. And this is the gimmick for Butch. He's like got rabies, and he runs away from Sheamus and Sheamus Jr. And then they have to like get him back like he's a lost dog. Seriously.
Well, they act ridiculous, but I like the idea that he just goes crazy. I like that idea, and that, you know, he's like the toughest guy in that group, and he's the smallest guy. I like that idea. It's just the fact that he's lost all of his matches so far. Now, granted, he's only had 2 matches, but like when you're just debuting and you lose, that's never a good sign.
I feel like Pete Dunne was way better than Butch as a wrestler, more successful.
Like, he was a wrestler, you know, like it was more like that was his gimmick. He was just a wrestler, right?
Yeah, he wasn't a
this
rabid
is more
dog.
Of a character now. So.
This is a rabid dog. What is this character?
Rabid Wolverine, they said last week.
Did they?
Yeah. Which they probably never say ever again.
Yeah. What the fuck? I didn't know you could call somebody a rabid Wolverine. What are they going to call him next? A Canadian crippler?
Hopefully not.
You know? God. I'll tell you what, John. If Chris Benoit didn't murder his wife, son, and himself, he'd be looked at as maybe the greatest, if not one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. He was fantastic in the ring, but god damn was he a horrific man in the end. In the end. But, you know, I was just thinking about Benoit the other day. Now that you bring him up, Rabid Wolverine, he was so good at wrestling, you know? Really sucks that it all ended the way it did, because you look back and he was maybe top 5 all time. Like, forget of all the stuff, you know, and, you know, I don't put him in Hall of Fame, don't celebrate him, and I'm not here to say great things about Benoit, but if we're being honest about wrestling, he's probably top 5 all time, right? Like, I wouldn't put him in my top 5, but if he didn't do what he did, you probably would. Like him and Brett, like he was pretty damn good. Unfortunately.
Well, I just remember when wrestling started to get kind of crummy in the 2000s, thanks to Triple H. Like there was guys where it's like, at least they're making wrestling worth watching. You know, Jericho, Benoit, Kurt Angle. Like you got to at least watch those matches. Those matches are still worth watching.
Yeah.
So he was always there. You know, it's like I got to see the Benoit match no matter what.
Yeah. And I think it's important not to celebrate him, but just to mention every once in a while for people who may not have seen him or who may not know that, yeah, he was really, 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 really good. And that's what made it so much more devastating for us as wrestling fans, is that he was like our favorite, and then he did that, and it was really sad. Anyways, another guy that used to be my favorite that's let me down is Walter. I liked chubby Walter. I don't like skinny Gunther. Skinny Gunther
He's
is
more
like
jacked, though. I think about it.
Yeah, I liked him a little chubbier though. He seemed more intimidating. He seems less intimidating now. He doesn't seem as
but
scary.
He's probably in
His
better
name's
physical
Gunther.
shape, though. Like,
who cares?
Better for his health.
He doesn't have as much power or pop to him, you know? Gunther sucks. Like, he comes out and I don't care at all. If Walter was in SmackDown, I'd be like, this is a guy that we've wanted to see on this show. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe he's actually on SmackDown. But now that he's on SmackDown, I'm like, yeah. If it was Walter, chubby Walter, cool. Skinny Gunther, I don't know. It doesn't do it for me. It's like if Samoa Joe lost a bunch of weight and he was like Skinny Joe, I'd be like, and he changed his name to like something else. I'd be like, yeah, I don't know. It's not the same, you know?
I get you, but like SmackDown needs that kind of the dominant heel right now. They don't have it. So he easily like
what?
Okay, Roman Reigns is different. It's not this. He's not a monster like heel, right? Like it's not the same kind of thing. Like they're trying to go with Gunther.
He beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Beat him clean, didn't he?
Yeah, but it's still not a monster. Like it's not the same way they portray him. Like you get like the way they're giving him squash matches right now. You know, this is their new Lars Sullivan in a sense.
Well, I hope not, for their sake. Lars Sullivan isn't even a wrestler anymore. But yeah, Gunther, you know, maybe something good will happen with him. I like him, you know, in theory, but when I see him, especially wrestling Teddy Goods tonight, I'm like, yeah, all right, whatever.
Well, he doesn't need to be in theory because Theory's on SmackDown. On Raw, sorry. This is SmackDown. That's not what we're watching.
And his name is just Theory now. It used to be Austin Theory, and now he's just Theory, which I hate. Awful.
But the thing is, like, I get it. The whole like they don't like Austin, right? So you have to lose that. But I probably would have just changed the name completely because now Theory just sounds awkward and weird.
Yeah.
On the billboard, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
I don't like it. And Angel Garza is now just Angel? Did that happen too? Why?
Humberto is just Humberto now as well.
Okay. Madcap Moss? Is he still Madcap Moss?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. He beat
For now.
Angel tonight. And then Baron Corbin attacked him. Is Baron still happy? Because he seemed pretty mad tonight.
I guess we'll have to wait and see his Titantron. I guess he's still happy in a sense. Like, we'll have to wait and see. They're probably going to have a match more than likely at WrestleMania Backlash, I'm guessing.
Ooh. So Baron Corbin, I'm calling him Baron now because he didn't seem happy and he's not with his friend Moss anymore. He attacked Moss and then stole Moss's Andre the Giant Battle Royal trophy, which is something that Corbin does a lot. Last time he stole Drew's sword, and now he's stealing Madcap's trophy.
That's true, yeah.
Bleh. Who's the babyface here?
Oh, Madcap for sure. Like, they're pushing him like crazy as a face.
How?
Like when he turned
so
irritating. On Corbin, that got a huge pop.
But he's annoying though, isn't he? Like, do you like him? How does anybody like him?
I think people like him because he's against Corbin. That's just it. Corbin's so hated that if you're against Corbin, you're beloved.
I hate them both. I think they're both terrible.
Well, you're not going to like this at all because they're more than likely wrestling next pay-per-view or next premium live event.
Premium. So premium. Yeah. What else happened on this stupid show? Sasha Banks and Naomi did a promo, and then Natty and Shayna came out, and Shayna says they're going to be the next champs, and then she pushed Sasha, and then Sasha wanted to fight, but Naomi kind of held her back, and Naomi's like, you want to be the champs? Come get the belts. And then they just stood there looking at each other. Sasha got pushed and then didn't do anything about it. What the hell was that?
I had tweeted this was pretty bad. Like, you get pushed and you just stand there and raise your title, like, you look like garbage. And I get it. They want to give Natty and Shayna some over. That wasn't the way to do it.
Nope. Ugh. This show tonight was weird. The main event was Samuel Zayn versus Drew McIntyre in a lumberjack match. And the match didn't even have a finish because Sammy just escaped. The Usos came out at one point, did super kicks on RK Bro that seemed to kill RK Bro because you never saw them again. Like, the Usos gave him, a super kick or two? And then Randy and Riddle just bailed and disappeared for the rest of the night. Are they okay?
I think they'll be fine. It was just more to sell that that's their thing. Everything else was happening wasn't really important for them.
Yeah. And then the Lumberjacks all started fighting, and Sammy tried to escape, but Drew stopped him. And then Drew kind of forgot about Sammy for a minute, and he did a dive on all the Lumberjacks, which allowed Sammy to escape through the crowd. And Adam Pearce said, Sammy, next week you won't be able to escape because you'll be in a steel cage with Drew McIntyre. And then Jinder Mahal and Shanky attacked Drew, and Drew beat them up. So, yeah. Because no one ever escaped a steel cage. It's not like it's one of the ways to win a steel cage match. But, yeah. Next week, Sammy and Drew in a cage. I'm not interested. Drew McIntyre is one of the most boring guys on WWE TV. Everything he does is just hard to care about. I'm not sure why.
Well, I really liked Sami Zayn's promo, though, when he went into Roman Reigns' dressing room and convinced him to get some help. I like that. That was fun.
It was good. He's like, I acknowledge you, and you should recognize me because I acknowledge you. I thought that was good. That was a good
yeah.
It was a good bit, and Roman sold it really well, the tribal chief. But again, the whole show is about Roman Reigns, and love him or hate him, the show is about him. He's the star of the show, and when the star of the show does very little, sits backstage, listens to Sammy, says a couple words, and that's it. That's all Roman did all show. the show feels uneventful. You know? Like when the main guy is doing nothing and still has no match for the pay-per-view, it's kind of, it makes SmackDown less interesting when Roman isn't doing something. I guess it'll be Roman and Drew at the pay-per-view, but they haven't made that official yet. But even then, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe Roman's hurt. I don't know.
It could be Nakamura because they kind of did something the week prior. So it could be that. There's options. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think there's a pay-per-view, May 8th? Sorry, again, premium live event, May 8th. And then, like, Hell in a Cell is, like, the 5th of June. So these things come pretty quick. So it easily could be Nakamura one, then McIntyre the next, or you just do McIntyre 3 in a row, possibly. As we know with WWE, they love rematches, so wouldn't be surprised. But do we even need Roman to wrestle the next premium live event? Because
pay-per-view.
Winner takes all.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's the main event.
Yeah. I think that's what Roman's story is. I don't think you have to have Roman wrestle at WrestleMania Backlash because the Tribal Chief is the double champ. He's already ordered the Usos to be double champs, and the whole story for Roman Reigns will be that match, and he could get involved with that match, make sure the Usos win, or not,
Right.
Just goes out and acknowledges them after they win, and, they've done what he has told them to do. They've completed the mission. As I think they should.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the Roman story. It's just another chapter. It's like, what has Roman done at WrestleMania Backlash? He has watched his cousins become double champions just like he is. And then they move forward as, all the champions, right? Makes sense to me.
And hopefully, not too far after, we finally unify the women's championships.
Do you think they're headed in that direction?
I can honestly see them. I can see them not doing it just because, I guess maybe they need the championship. There's not too many for the women to wrestle for, right?
Yeah.
So maybe they actually need the 3 titles. But I am also in the belief of where we don't need that many titles, so why not?
I would much rather they unify the Intercontinental and U.S. title rather than the women's championships. I think you do need
that less likely.
But I think you need a championship on Raw and a championship on SmackDown. Although, what's Bianca Belair really doing?
Well, you're right in both hands where they need a championship on Raw and SmackDown, which is why you need the IC and US on different shows.
Yeah. So why not have the women have championships on each show?
Well, that's the thing too. I think you're kind of right. I just feel like the women's division just isn't deep on both shows. It could eventually be once you see Bayley come back, see Asuka come back. That doesn't happen though yet.
No.
And when is that happening?
Yeah, but you look at SmackDown, you got Charlotte and Ronda, you got Sasha, you got Naomi, you got Lacey Evans making a bit of a comeback here. I mean, they're adding some people. You look at Raw, you got Bianca, Becky, Rhea, Liv. You got some people there. And like you said, when Asuka and Bayley come back. No, it's not. It's not. I mean, you could unify, but you could unify everything. I don't know. Does Ronda beat Charlotte in the I Quit match?
Oh, I think Ronda definitely gets the win here. I feel like they gave Charlotte the big WrestleMania moment. Now this is Ronda's time. Because Ronda, if anything, she's lost, but she's never quit anything, right? She never said, I quit in a match. So I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Ronda loses that one. I think this is where Ronda wins. What do you think of the new Lacey Evans? The Hard Knock Life Lacey Evans talking about how terrible her life has been. And I mean, you feel for her and you believe it. It seems like her real story.
It is.
But it's a complete turnaround from what she was. The sassy Southern Belle is no more. Like, you go from a completely ridiculous gimmick that has no basis in reality, it's almost like she comes from another era, to now a full-on reality-based gimmick where it's just her. It's a weird switch, and I thought she was a really good heel, but I think she could be a really good babyface too. So I don't hate it. I'm just, like, surprised that this is what they're doing with the Lacey Evans comeback, but I like her. I think she's talented.
Like, I definitely agree with you that she's talented, and like, these promos are very heartfelt. She's done this before though. Like, I don't know if you remember the show Breaking Ground. Like, she did promos like this, very similar, almost exactly like this. And that was just when she was starting. And I think what hurts this the most for me to like really get into this is the fact that you've been a face, you've been a heel, you were a face, you were a heel. Like, once you become too big of a jerk, it's really hard to do the cry for me thing and get people to care. Like, I just don't feel it that much. It's like, yeah, but you're a backstabber. You trick Ric Flair to
come on,
your like guidance and all this.
Yeah, but this is real stories she's telling here. I don't know. I feel for her. Seems like she had a tough life. I feel for her. I'm with it. I think Lacey's great. She's got a great look. She's got size. She's strong, athletic. She can talk. She can wrestle. She's got everything you'd want. So hopefully this gimmick works for her. I don't know what you do next. Like, okay, you've told the backstory. Now what? We'll see. But I think there's a lot of potential there with Lacey Evans to be a star. But if you're building up a strong babyface, it's not for Ronda, right? What's that for?
That's very true. Well, I mean, there's already history with Charlotte, right? Charlotte's going to need something after Ronda, so.
Okay. But then another loss? Because Lacey's can't, come back and then lose to Charlotte right off the bat, right? But Charlotte losing to Ronda and then losing to Lacey too, like that would be kind of a rough turn for Charlotte.
Super chat.
Wow. How long? Charlotte's been champion for almost a year now. Like, I think she could take a couple of losses. 13-time, like, women's champ or whatever now at this point. Like, I think she'll be all right.
The queen shouldn't lose that much, though. She's the queen. Doug Hepburn says, Johnny, Roman is coming after your belt. Thank you, Doug, dropping a super chat. You are the super chat leader of the night. First super chat coming in there tonight. Johnny North, of course, can't confirm or deny that he's the new NCW Tag Team Champion. But I know that the Latino Connection are the new NCW Tag Team Champions. And I know that there's a big guy in a mask called El Contador, who is one of my favorite wrestlers, and he's part of that team. So that's all I'm going to say.
And I'm sure I speak for the Latinos, where it's like, if Roman wants to come get some, come bring it. We have no problem going against the Tribal Chief if he wants some.
I like that you, Johnny North, say, I'd like to speak for the Latinos. You're speaking for the entire... do you speak Spanish, John? I speak for all Latinos when I say the Latino
senor.
Connection. I like that. Si, senor. Yeah. I like that that's your tag team, That's the tag team that you're part of. It's bueno. It's muy bueno. Oh, did John drop out? What's happening? Did John freeze? Am I still on? In the world, you represent, John, of course. You're strong.
I speak for them all, yeah.
You speak for all Spanish speakers in the world. Everybody all over the world. Hold on. I got to check something. Are we on? Yeah, we are on. Oh, okay, so the show resumed at some point. We're back on the stream. Oh, that's weird. Okay, well, sorry, guys. I don't know what happened. We had technical issues, but you know what? The show is pretty much done. Yeah, we're back now. Okay, we're back now.
We're back.
Yeah,
and
we
then
were
gone
off.
soon.
I don't know. We kind of disappeared. We had technical glitches going on. I don't know what was going on. Oh, well. Well, all that happened, John. But thankfully it happened when the show was basically over. So we're done. We talked about SmackDown. We talked about all the wrestling. We are back. And I will be back here on the Ringside Report Network at some point next week. I'm not sure if I'm going to be on after Raw. I haven't decided yet. With 2 kids, I'm still trying to figure out the new schedule. So we'll see. Maybe we'll be on after Dynamite next week. Maybe not. But for sure, we'll be on every Friday night for now. And then the other shows will slowly start to trickle back, I think. That's my plan.
That sounds like a plan.
You know?
I like that idea.
Yeah, I mean, we were on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I'm going to promise Thursday, Friday next week, and I'll try to do Monday too, and maybe Wednesday, but I don't know. And that's for next week, and then we'll see the week after and the week after that, you know, when things start to settle down. My daughter's only 2 weeks old, so we're figuring out the 2-kid situation and how to do all that. And, you know, things are all new. So, yeah, that's my plan. We will be back next week for sure, next Friday at 10. And then maybe Monday after Raw, but check back here on the Ringside Report Network. Subscribe and click the bell to get the notifications so you know when we're on. Click that bell so you get those notifications so you are aware when we are on. All right? So I'll probably be on... I might be on Monday after Raw. It's possible, but maybe not. I can't really say. Who's to say? All right? But after all the pay-per-views, and we'll do watch-alongs and all that stuff. So, all right? We're back, baby. We're back. Slowly coming back.
This talk of AJ babysitting, I don't know if that's going to fly.
No, it's not
I don't know if that's
happening.
going to work out with some people.
Not happening at all.
Sorry,
No.
guys.
Yeah, no, but AJ will be with me on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. talking MMA. Johnny is here with me every Friday night at 10. And, you know, we'll see next week. Maybe after Dynamite, maybe after Raw, too. And we will be doing our next UFC pay-per-view watch-along on May 7th. UFC 274, Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje for the UFC lightweight title. Holy shit. Holy shit. That's going to be big. And Johnny, you and I will be back on after a WWE pay-per-view on May, where we'll have Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey in an I Quit match for the SmackDown title. Cody Rhodes versus Seth Freakin. RK Bro versus the Usos. Winner takes all for the tag team titles. And AJ Styles versus Edge. Again. Okay. All right. And that's it. John, I will see you again very soon. And that's it. Thanks, everybody. Thank you to Doug Hepburn. You're the Super Chat leader of the night. And this has been Wrestling Uncensored here on the Ringside Report Network. All right.
Please join in and give your support to Ringside Report Network. We've been providing expert coverage and commentary on both pro wrestling and MMA for over 15 years. Go to ringsidereport.net/support to find out more ways to support the channel.